Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We're the Garza Twins. I'm Britta.
And I'm Carly.
We would love it if you would subscribe down below and like this video if you like the content. Today we're doing a new video in our business advice series. So today we're focusing on picking a brand name and trademarking the name. We did something similar over on TikTok on our diet handle Instagram, but we're gonna go more in depth and leave links down below because we trademarked all of our brand names and we did it ourselves. And I feel like that's pretty rare. Most people, you can pay a lawyer, you can pay people to do it, but we did it ourselves to save money and we wanted to let you in on how to do it. So just some background on how we came up with both of our names because I think that's helpful. So our candle business is named Dyad Candle, and then our pet care business is named Clean Coats. So for Dyad, it was pretty simple, but basically we both just had a shared list going of name ideas that we thought we wanted, and we knew we wanted it to be, these are good tips, we knew we wanted it to be short, easy to remember, easy to spell.
One syllable.
Yeah, one syllable, and preferably 4 letters. If you look at all of the brands out there, a lot of them are 4 letters long. So we just wanted it to be easy to understand. But we also wanted to represent us and the candle scents themselves. So I thought of it, I just found the word dyad, and it means 2 parts of a whole. Kind of this duality, there's 2 of us and we're one person because we're so close and we're twins. So it was a really easy decision for us. As soon as I thought of it, we both were on board with it. And then we went into the trademarking process. And then do you want to talk about Clean Coats? Yeah, for Clean Coats, I think we talked about this in our launch video, but for that we wanted Clean Coats, or our pet care brand, the name to really be tied into what it was, less obscure, because I feel with pet care, if you use an obscure name, I don't know, it's less searchable. I feel for fragrance, a lot of people use obscure names. Yeah, and our logo for Diet is hard to read too, but we like that it's a mystery. Yeah, I think that's common with the fragrance. Yeah, but with pet care, we wanted something searchable, catchy, that people would associate with kind of what our brand was. And so Tommy and I both thought of the name Clean Coats one day. We both said it separate occasions. It's a whole, if you watched the video, you saw the whole story. Anyway, so we thought that it was kind of I don't know, a play on words a little bit, because it's Clean Coats, the pets have clean coats. Because then we knew we were launching with a shampoo. But then also it's a clean brand, so we wanted the word clean in there. And so it just it really made sense. And it was also short. Yes, it's 2 words, 2 syllables, but it's not too long or something that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so step 1, as we just sort of discussed, is to write down every single name idea you have. I would put together a list of 20 plus names. Thankfully, well, for Clean Coats, we had a pretty long list actually, but
no, I don't think we did.
It wasn't 20 long.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, for Dyad, we thankfully came up with it pretty quickly. But in our past experience, working at our last job and working on brands as they were launching, it can be really hard to get a trademark approved. So you really want to be prepared with tons of ideas and backups upon backups upon backups. Thankfully, we didn't have that situation, but we've seen it happen before, and you just want to have so many options that if you have to quickly pivot, you have a backup. So once you have your list of 20 names, you would go to the USPTO trademark search, and we'll leave the link down below. It's really easy. I mean, anyone can find it. And you basically just start doing a prelim search yourself. So you type in the name, and you do have to search through all of them to see which ones will align with your class of goods. So we're gonna get into detail, but we can't get into super detail because it obviously took months of research. But basically, when you trademark in a class of goods. So there's different numbers assigned to different classes, and you pay per class that you're trademarking in. So I think the easiest way to see what class to trademark in, for Clean Coats, for instance, we just started searching brand names that we had purchased pet shampoos, and I found their trademarks in the USPTO, and then was able to see, they trademarked in this class of goods. It was shampoo, washing products for pets, and I was that's what we need because that's what we're launching. So that's an easy way to find the class of goods. But when you're going through the prelim search, basically, so if clean coats existed in like makeup preparations class, we could still trademark in our class because they're not related. I think that gets a little murky when the two classes are closer related. Like for instance, for dyad, we originally filed under candles, and then we had to go back and file under fragrance as well when we were launching our fragrance oils. And then we also trademarked dyad fragrance at that time. So those two are obviously like very closely related, but if you had something in like the food industry and then you had, like a pet care brand, those are so different.
But isn't there a clean coats like car?
Yeah. So when I was first searching clean coats, sorry, this is, it's hard to understand if you haven't done it, but I'm trying to explain this as I can. So when I was first searching clean coats on the USPTO database, I saw that there was a few in there with similar names, but they were all in like car classifications, like car detailing, car cleaning, totally opposite of pet care. So if you see that, you're like, okay, I can't find anything within my class of goods or even remotely close, I'm okay. But you really do have to search, and a lot of times if you pick a pretty common name, there are pages and pages and pages, and that's typically why people hire trademark lawyers, is because the prelim search can be so extensive, and they also are better at knowing, like I said, if a class is too similar. We don't know that, and we are not lawyers. I'm not claiming to be one, so this is just for my experience. If it is too close together, I would avoid it because you just never know, and you don't want to, like if it's fashion and beauty, like those are also kind of close together. So just use your best judgment to see if like the classes are too related. And for dyad, like we said, it was pretty obscure, fanciful, so we do recommend going that route if you can, because it's going to be way easier to like search through the database first of all, and then also to get approved, because there's probably not a lot of brands using that name if it's a word that's not really used in like everyday vocabulary. And then also on the contrary to that, you could also use your own name. That would be the easiest to get approved, but I know a lot of people these days, I feel like, want a brand that stands on their own, that's like not tied to who they are, which I do think is a good idea, but you can obviously always go that route too. Yeah, in my research, it basically is like the easiest route, the quickest approval is using your own name. Obviously you can prove your name. And then fanciful words, so essentially made up words. Dyad is in the English dictionary.
Yeah, and
it's not made up.
Yeah, we put the definition of dyad on our packaging because a lot of people don't know what it means. Even the other day we were in a store and this lady was talking to us because we were dropping off like a wholesale packet. She was like, oh, what's your brand called? And we told her dyad, and she was like, oh, that's really pretty. But like she didn't seem to like know. We're like, oh yeah, it means like two parts of a whole. She's like, oh, I love that. So she didn't even know it was like a real word, but she just liked how it sounded, which is exactly kind of what we wanted.
Yeah, but if you go the full fanciful route, like I mean, there's so many brands now that have that, like Hims, like that's a made up word. What's another one?
I mean, there's so many.
Poppy, like Poppy with an I, so I think that would technically be fanciful. Like basically if you go the route where like the word doesn't exist and you're making it up, that is the best route because it's the quickest to get approved and no one likely has it. Okay, so once you found the name that you think no one else has in a similar category, you've done your research, search and search and search. Also good to search like Instagram and things like that to make sure, we actually didn't touch on this, to make sure you can get that name on social media. So that's also a good last step before you officially file the trademark. But once you've searched and searched and searched and you're ready, you need to know the class of goods you're filing in, and then you need to fill out a TEAS, what it's called, plus application. This one is cheaper than the standard application and it requires more information, but we've always done this, so it's really what I can speak to. And I think it's good that you're giving it's a very thorough application, but it is more affordable. So it's $250 per class of goods. So again, you pay per class you file the trademark in. Usually start with one. You can do whatever you can afford and whatever you want to do. We've always gone back and filed in more classes later.
Yeah.
Application is pretty self-explanatory, but they do have videos that you can watch on the website. Like they're very good about linking out to help, like get help here if you don't know what to put here. So I would just recommend reading and watching those if you have questions. while you're filling out the application. You can also save the application and come back later. From all the government websites we have had to deal with, theirs is the best. You can actually create an account once you have your applications in to check the status, and once it's approved, we can log in and see all of our trademarks and download all the documents. So it's so much better than other business issues you have to deal with. They have it pretty working. So once you finish the application, it used to be 3 months that you would be assigned a trademark attorney who would review the application and then, basically come back to you and be like, this seems incorrect in your application, we need to fix this. Or like I said with the candle thing, they came back to us and were like, we just need you to confirm in writing you don't own the word candle, and then it'll be approved. We had a little more hoops to jump through for clean coats. I won't get into it, but there is some changes and they can help make them for you. But now in the current environment, I don't even know, it takes about a year.
Yeah,
a year to be assigned. When we first did Diet back in 2018, it was maybe 4 months at the time, and I remember they said 3 months on the website and I was like, oh, this is taking forever. They said 3 months, but when we did clean coats and when we did Diet fragrance, it took a year.
Yeah.
So please prepare. This is why we're doing this video now, because
you should do it at the very beginning.
So early on, because you don't want to launch your business without having this approved. You can, that's up to you if you want to.
Don't recommend.
But we would not recommend that. And even, like we said with Diab Fragrance, we even went back and did that shortly after launching.
Yeah.
Because we knew we were going to launch Fine Fragrances. So it's good to just do it so far in advance. But yeah, basically you're assigned an attorney and then they'll come back to you via email. You have to put in an email that you're reachable at and your address that's best reachable, because they'll mail you things too. So if all that's correct, you should hear from them. And yeah, you just kind of go from there. And it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it.
Yeah.
But again, once
you're assigned the attorney, it's...
Yeah, they will tell you the reason if it's not approved. They'll be very, very clear and thorough. And if there's just some change that you need to make to the application, they will let you know that. So once it's handed over to an attorney, I think it's pretty simple from there. They give you a lot of options. They can't make the decision for you, but they kind of talk you through it.
Yeah. And then you do end up getting your physical trademark in the mail.
Yeah, and then they also, again, like we said, we have an account, so you can log in and see, this when things are approved and when there's, an office action, that basically means that you need to, take action on the application. So they have a good website going. I feel like once you get the hang of it, it's pretty self-explanatory. But again, like I said, we are not lawyers. This is just from our experience. So please consult a lawyer if you are, really nervous and want to have someone who...
Or if you just, don't have the time and don't want to, definitely go that route. But we just wanted to make this video to essentially tell you this is what we recommend.
Yeah. It's also, I think, good to know, even if you are planning on hiring someone, it's just, good to know the process. And really, especially the upfront work, I don't see the benefit in hiring someone to do a ton of research for you that you could do yourself. You can definitely hire someone to actually fill out the application and deal with that for you, but please do preliminary research in the trademark website on your own, because it'll save you so much time if you really are attached to a name and then you're paying someone else to do all the research. You can just go in and really look through to see if it's actually trademarkable in the class that you're going to sell goods in.